Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I just got this random ass urge to kind of push me to do a reading. So I'm just gonna pull like a few cards. It's gonna be a short reading and just kind of see what spirit wants you guys to know. It didn't come out, but the honoring path just popped. It feels like a lot of you guys feel kind of stuck on your path. You're not really sure like what direction to go. Feels like you feel like you're unsure of like kind of what direction to go. Ooh, damn. Okay. Feels like you're unsure of what direction to go. You're kind of like, you know, the bigger picture of like what you want, or you have like a generalized like idea of like what you want, for the future, what you want to be doing, whether it's relationship wise, whether it's like a job or some type of thing that's going to bring you like happiness and positive energy and just something you really desire, right? We'll just kind of generalize it like that. And it feels like a lot of you guys are in this weird transition period where you're being asked to reflect on the past, and you're being asked to kind of look at your subconscious mind, the way you perceive things, the way you think about things, to kind of heal that stuff. And a lot of you guys are feeling like past pain. You're feeling a lot of like old energy. You're feeling a lot of old, deeper feelings. And it feels very conflicting and very confusing, because it's like in one area, you know that like you're leaving the past behind and you need to leave the past behind, but it almost feels like this resistance, struggling to move past it. But kind of what Spirit's saying is you're not really seeing it accurately for what it is. You're taking whatever the hell is going on in this present moment, and you're relating those emotions that are coming up now to that situation, that person, whatever it is, more than one thing perhaps, and it doesn't really have shit to do with them. Like that underlying situation relates to, hi Sage, come here, you fucking crazy bitch, come here. Ugh. Always with this damn crystal, relates to something, my poor crystal, it never breaks down, relates to something. This is the crystal she literally always knocks down. It's a carnelian flower agate. It's a little bit more rare, but yeah, she always does it. Okay, are you gonna keep interrupting me? I already threw a ball for you. Give me a kiss. Give me a little bitch. Give me kisses. Anyway, you think it relates to something that's kind of going on now. So what it is kind of what Spirit's saying is like you're in your ego mind right now. So you're focusing on this grief, this loss, this anger, this pain, this frustration, whatever your emotions are, probably more than one. Look at how cute I am. Look how cute I am. Do you want to go, or do you want to actually stay? Okay, get down though. Ugh, I get hair all over my face. Hold on, she's gonna keep doing it. I could tell she's in the mood. Come here. She's in one of those moods. I still kiss from you, bitch. Haha. Thank you. Anyway. Okay, let me try to get back on fucking topic. I'm gonna have to stick her in the room if not, because I'm getting distracted as fuck. Okay. So whatever emotions, there's probably more than one. You're probably going in and out of different emotions, right? Like you're kind of going up and down into different feelings and emotions. Whatever those are, you're relating them to whatever has happened recently, or whatever person or situation has triggered you recently. What you're doing is you're taking those feelings and those emotions and applying them to that person or situation, when in reality, they relate to something from the past. But that's at like the surface level. Below the surface, if you actually look at what you really truly feel about that person or that situation that you're feeling stuck with it right now, and it could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could just be, it feels like a bunch of different things for a bunch of different people. And it could be more than one thing for you. So if you're feeling that right now, look at what is going on. Like look at the deeper level. Bitch. Look, she is so fucking distracting. Look at what is going on. Like, how do I actually feel? Like, if I'm looking at things accurately, how do I actually feel? And what a lot of you guys are going to realize is you put yourself in situations or relationships that weren't good for you. You try to force things. You try to like make yourself believe something that wasn't true and that wasn't actually accurate, because you were scared of what you actually want, and you were scared of, here, I'll throw it for you. You were scared of receiving something else. Come here. Do you want this or not? Go get it. Scared of receiving something else. And we got the fear card. It definitely feels like that. Like fear kind of took over for you guys. So you reacted kind of out of trauma and fear. A lot of you guys are able to see things below the surface now, like where you were kind of doing your conditioning and your programming and shit like that. You're actually able to see kind of the spiritual side of stuff, or what this is teaching you, or what the lesson was. So if you're not in that energy, kind of look at what the lesson is. Like, what is this teaching me? What is this showing to me? What is this reflecting to me? Like, do I stand in my power? Do I make choices that are good for me? Like, do I, allow the right type of people and situations in, or do I push those away and I choose the wrong type of people and situations? And when you look at what your true desire is, your true heart's desire is, and they keep wanting to emphasize heart's desire for some reason. When you look at what your true heart's desire is, you realize that you haven't actually been aligned with it for a long time. You've actually been pushing it away or doing things that repel it and doing the opposite of what you want. So when those other situations were coming up, baby, bring it to me if you want me to throw it. When those other situations were coming up, like it's a reflection on deeper feelings and deeper emotions below the surface. I don't really know how else to say it besides that. So are you going to keep distracting me? You are. No, we're not doing this today. No. Okay. So on the bottom, we got present power. Okay, hold on, shit. We got the travel card underneath it. They don't go together. That's why I just felt like all this heaviness for some reason. With this travel card, it feels like the journey that you're on, it's like you've been on this journey for a long time. You've been on that? Hold on, I gotta put her away because she's driving me nuts. Come here. Nope, come on, let's go. Come on, Sage, let's go. Come on. Go. Now. Oh, you're so cute. Come here. You're driving me nuts. You're distracting the shit out of me. I gotta put you away. I love you. I love you. She's literally just gonna keep distracting me because I could tell she's in one of those moods. Okay. Anyway. Travel card. Hold on. Okay, this is what it feels like. It feels like a lot of you guys had been on this journey for a long time. You just didn't know what journey you were on. You've been in like a lot of grief. You've been in a lot of pain. You've been in a lot of just heaviness, which we got like the conflict storm card underneath. Like you've been in this almost just like stuck energy. And what you don't realize is, like, even though you've been in this longer than you realize, you just didn't have awareness to it. Now that you have awareness to it, it's like kind of kicking all those emotions and shit into gear, and it's helping you get into your power. It's helping you connect to your soul self. I've been talking about this for a while. It's helping you balance your soul energy with your human energy, and it's helping all these things to kind of heal and connect back to where they need to for your path and stuff. But it feels like a lot of you guys are afraid of, like, kind of the metaphor of like what's on the other side of the door is like, that you've been working really hard to get to where you are, and you've been going through struggles, and that like what you want is waiting for you, but at the same time you're feeling all this fear, you're feeling all this doubt, you're feeling all these things in your conditioning from the past. And when you're in conflict, when there's the past energy and then there's the soul energy, when they're not matching, it feels conflicting. The soul energy is always truth, but the past energy is all that I've known and all that I can observe and all that I can see. And oftentimes when we're in that conflict, we cannot see what's on the other side. We can feel that it's truth, but we go into this like inner battle with ourselves because we cannot understand how this is going to happen for us. This soul feeling we have, we think it's like just beyond reach. We think it's like, it's too impossible. Like a lot of times what people think is it's too impossible to happen. Like, I just cannot understand how this is going to happen. But that's part of the purpose, is you're not supposed to understand how it's supposed to happen. That's where the releasing the control is. And kind of what they're saying is like, you guys are about to open up to this new part of yourself. And like the travel is more metaphorical and energetic than it is literal, because you guys are like seeing things from a different perspective. It's almost like, you know, when you go to another country and you see the way they live and you see their kind of culture and how they do things, it helps you to see what you appreciate about your own journey, about your own culture, about your own environment, and what you can adapt and change and see in a different way. You know, a lot of times when people are in these type of energies, they kind of focus on the pain. They kind of focus on all their feelings. For me, I don't really focus on that. I usually focus, not always, but for the most part, I always focus on the positive, which is, what is this doing for me? What is this teaching me? And how is this helping me grow? And even when I'm getting triggered, and even when stuff like that's going on, is, what is this teaching me? How is this helping me grow? And I usually look at the purpose of it, the spiritual purpose of it. Oftentimes when we're stuck, we don't look at that. We see ourselves in the storm. We see ourselves in this pain and we think there's no out, but there is an out. You just aren't looking at it. Like, you're just seeing it from trauma storm perspective, and you're not seeing the good that comes from it. So if you're able to kind of change your focus and see what this is teaching me, how is this helping me grow? How is this helping me to see something different? That's what's going to happen. And they keep giving me the same metaphor. It's the same thing when you're traveling and you're going to other places and you're seeing how other people live. It's opening your perspective to something deeper and bigger. Everything is not literal. Everything is not black and white the way we've been conditioned to think. It's not either this or this. There's so much space in between, and it's helping you to expand and open your consciousness to that. And when we have, you know, the ego of it, we'll call it the ego because that's what most people are familiar, you know, the term that people are familiar with is the ego is very black and white. The ego is very tunnel vision. The ego is literally a computer system that only has information. The ego is the computer system, the human part of us, that only has the information we've ever seen, experienced, or received. It's like a computer system that it only has the coding and programming that has been put in the computer system. It cannot expand beyond that. That's what the ego is. The soul is all-knowing. The soul is totally all-knowing. So that's why they're in conflict. The soul knows shit, but the ego cannot figure out and compute how this is going to happen because it has not experienced it before. And all of that resistance is helping you actually grow in your power. It's helping you heal, and it's helping you get out of this stuck cycle and release this conditioning. And a lot of you, if you're in that, are here to help other people grow, are here to help other people, whatever your specific cycle is that you're stuck in and that you've been going through. It is to help people in similar facets in that way. Whatever that intention is for you, it's to help people. And usually where you have that strength and whatever is like unique about you, and wherever you have that strength and wherever you've had the most resistance is usually part of your spiritual path and how you're going to help people. It's not always in the way people think, because a lot of times people look at, like, you know, my type of position where I'm doing readings, or like I have the store and I like meet people and I give them spirit messages. They always think that it has to be like that, or it has to be in a therapeutic setting to be able to help people. But what you don't realize is when you're in a different energy and you're in a different space, it doesn't matter where the fuck you work. It doesn't matter what your job is. It matters the people that are being attracted to you, who you're meeting, and the message you're giving them, or what you're showing them. And sometimes it's through art, and sometimes it's through music, and sometimes it's through different things. Have you ever looked at some type of picture or some type of creation and you're so drawn to it and the energy of it, and you can just feel what that person was feeling when they made that? Or it's the same thing with music. Most of us relate to music and we can feel that and we relate to it. All of those things are just as helpful as somebody giving a spirit message like this, as somebody being a therapist, as somebody, you know, being a doctor, as somebody being like that. We just emphasize, in society, we just emphasize shit in the wrong way. We emphasize that it has to be, you know, like this or this. But there's so many people, like, you could literally be like, I don't know, I've went to the grocery store before, I've went to certain places before, and goddamn, I was in like a really shitty place, a really shitty mood, and I could just feel somebody's energy and their positive energy, and it just put a smile on my face and made me like happy for the rest of the day. Like, you don't even understand the impact you're having on people just by you being you. And every time you're overcoming something and you're working through something, you're naturally going to help people, and the right people who are in that circumstance are going to gravitate toward you. You would not believe how many times I say this, and I feel like I say it so much, and for some reason people just don't hear it. It's like they come to my crystal store. It doesn't matter if you're on vacation, doesn't matter, whatever. And they're like, I like just felt drawn to yours. I just had to go to your store just go to your store. Even if they only come in once or like they're on vacation or whatever, they come in because they've been praying about something and they've been stuck and they've been asking about something. And the second they walk in, I can feel what the fuck they need. And I just intuitively help them and speak to them. And they're just like, holy shit, I had no idea that's what I was coming here for. But they were energetically gravitating toward me because they were, Spirit pulls you in the direction you need to go. And your soul and your energy connects to the right people at the right time. Even when you're dealing with the shitty negative people, those people are still showing you things that you need to see. And that's why you're pulled toward those people too. Because it just means you have a spiritual lesson or something. And that's why you were pulled toward those people. It's not because you're like those people. It's not because there's anything to do with you connecting to them. It's not anything to do with that. It's because there's something about that person that has an underlying energy that you have not healed and overcome at a spiritual level. And that's why you're drawn to that person. It's not about that person. It's about that energy and that attachment and that chasing, that fear, whatever it is for you. Anyway, so with the present power, a lot of you guys are working toward empowering yourself truly, not just telling yourself, oh yeah, I'm going to stand up for myself and I'm not going to take anybody's shit. Oftentimes it's not you actually standing in your power. You standing in your power is doing things when they're hard without having to verbally communicate it, without having to say that, because oftentimes when you're doing that, it's a defense mechanism. You're putting a wall up and you're like, fuck you, I'm not going to take anybody's shit. You're actually doing the wall. You're actually not standing in your power because you're going into defense mode and you're still giving that energy to that specific emotion or feeling or whatever. When you're really standing in your power, you're doing things that are hard. You're doing things that are best for you, and you're doing the things that are hard, and you're saying the things that are hard, and you're facing things that are not easy to face. And you're not trying to prove it to anybody. You're not trying to do anything. There's no intention other than you know that this is what you need to do. So with that being said, we got deserving, fragmented energy, and fear. Look at all this feminine ass energy. And I think it's interesting that we have the masculine on the bottom, which was kind of the start of this, and the feminine energy. Kind of what I get with it all combined is like this internal stability. It's like the part of, I'm going to just say this pretty like basic. So take it as it resonates for you, because I can say it in 100 different ways, but take it only as it resonates for you. Is a lot of the start of the journey is you are pushed down. You're made to feel like you're not enough. You're made to repress your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, whoever you are at your core. You are made to feel like there was something wrong with it. You weren't enough. You weren't lovable, whatever it is. A lot of us, it's a lot of those different things. And part of this journey is for you to actually step back into what it is you deserve, which is your personal power. I keep wanting to do the travel card, which we're going to stick that shit on the bottom because I keep doing it wrong way, which is you actually standing in your power and you balancing that energy. And these are long ass cycles, usually from your childhood to teenage years. And a lot of you are ending it. That's why I feel so heavy. When you're in the storm, and I always want to keep calling it a storm because that's what it feels like for most of you. When you are in this storm, it's like all of these pieces of you that you lost in yourself, all these pieces that you gave up, that you hid, that you lost are coming back together. But as that's happening, you're getting met with the conflict of why you hid them in the first place, why you repressed them, why you put on a facade, why you pretended like you needed to be somebody other than who you were. And then you're feeling all that energetic resistance and pain of what those people said and did that made you hide that part of yourself. This pretty literal, and I just realized that it's a kind of a storm too. There's a lot of storm energy here. It's all this heaviness, all this fear, all this shadow energy that we've been taught is not lovable, is not worthy, is not any of these things is. You know, one of the things I want to say this because I feel like this has been coming up a lot is we live in a world where it's very conditioned to think that we should be this extroverted, like outgoing person. We should have all these friends. We should be going and doing all this stuff. We should be showing it on social media. We live in this world where that's kind of the way everything is. Everything's very surface level, very superficial. It's not very deep. It's just whatever. And a lot of us who are like light workers, or a lot of us who are energy healers, We don't live in that world. We don't do small talk. Most of us fucking can't stand it. It like literally makes us want to throw up. And we've been conditioned to think that we have to be this social person, this outgoing person, have tons of friends, kind of like go out and conform to all these society things. And then we're made to feel like there's something wrong with us. We're made to feel like losers or loners or antisocial, or we can't make fucking friends. We're made to feel like there's something wrong with us and we should be somebody else. And in reality, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being by yourself. There's nothing wrong with going within. There's nothing wrong with standing in your power. Why should you force yourself to go hang out with people or put yourself in situations that you don't feel comfortable in, that you don't feel safe in, that are very surface level and fucking superficial? Like, why should you do that? So you can fit in with society, so you can go post shit on social media? Because here's the thing, most of the people who are posting, and I'm not saying this to everybody, I'm just saying this very general. Most of the people who are posting shit on social media are trying to prove how great their life is. And they're living their life to get validation from other people, to seek all these different things. But do you know how many people post vacation shit and they're miserable as fuck? But they are like, oh, I went to this place and I had this great time. And most of them actually had a horrible fucking experience. But they don't want to show that. They want to show people like, oh, look, I'm going out, I'm living my life and all this stuff. Because that's what we're expected to do. We're expected to live our lives for other people and show people how great our fucking life is, how amazing shit is. We're not taught to show all of the fucking pain, all of the obstacles, all of the challenges, and all of that shit. A lot of us like to be by ourselves. I don't want to say we always want to be alone, but a lot of us like to go within. We like to feel our own energy. We like to feel emotions. We like deeper connections. Oh, I just saw something fly over in the shadow. We like to feel like not all the heaviness of the world. We don't want to receive everybody's energy. And I remember my sister used to say this to me all the time. She's like, you're so fucking antisocial. You're so this, you're so this. And I've always said I'm selectively social, because if I like you and I feel comfortable with you, I'm open as fuck and I'm going to talk your damn ear off. But if I'm quiet and I'm shy, which most of the time I am, if I am quiet and I am shy, that's because I don't feel comfortable with you. And I used to think that there was something wrong with me and I should talk more or be more social. But here's the thing. Why should I do that? Why should I push myself to talk to somebody that I energetically don't feel safe and open and comfortable with? There's a reason for that. And like, that goes a lot deeper than what I'm fucking saying. But the point that I'm saying is we're taught to be something other than what we are, and we're shamed for it. And we think we need to be somebody that we're not, and we don't. And that's kind of what this whole message is. It's not just about being shy or introverted, because some people are just extroverted and there's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with that. I go in between. I'm like an introverted extrovert. I like to be by myself. I like to do shit by myself. But if I like you and I want to hang out with you, like, I'm extroverted as fuck. I'm very open, but I like small groups of people I'm close with. I don't want to deal with a bunch of fucking people I don't know. I don't want to talk to a bunch of people I don't know, whatever. But I've been taught, like, even, me being vocal and talking like this, I've been taught that I shouldn't do that. Like, women should not do that. Women shouldn't have a voice. Then you're a bitch. Then you're aggressive. Then you're all these other things. And it's like, women shouldn't be blunt. They're fucking bitches. They're this. They're controlling. And it's like, no. Why should I not speak how I feel? Why should I not speak my truth? Why should I not talk in a way that is authentic for me because society told me I shouldn't? And like, a lot of us are really finding those lost parts of ourselves. Like, a lot of us are finding those things and being more comfortable and okay with it. So if you're feeling really lost and you're feeling scared and you're feeling confused, a lot of the reason it is because of that. So I'm just going to pull from this deck, and then that's it, because I got some shit to do. Trying to get like some of my crystal stuff in my living room done. It's like my day off, but I'm like, I got to get shit done. I have like the energy to do it finally. So I'm like, I got to do it. Oh, I just heard a noise. I was trying to see what it was. Desert Thirst. Never pulled that card before. That's interesting. Ooh, damn, did I get some energy? Lotus Resurrection. Holy shit, though. The energy of that card is crazy. So we got Sage Purification. We got Sequoia Tree Balance on the bottom. I feel like this message has been coming up a lot about, oh, I love it. I looked up 444. I feel like this what's the card underneath? Moon cycles. I feel like this has been coming up a lot about us balancing our energy, about standing tall, about being who we are, and stop trying to be what we're told we should be and being who we are. The thing is, we have a lot of fears because we're also like conditioned to think that like relationships and all these things should be a certain way. And sometimes relationships come in because they're to teach us, and that's it. And then they go away when they're supposed to go away. And I know for me, I used to like hold on to them instead of actually letting them go because I deserve better and because the cycle ended. It's like abandonment wound a lot of times, other shit, but I'm just going to say it at that because I don't feel like talking about that deeper. When you come into balance with things and you come into balance with self, like you learn to let things flow more and you learn to trust the process more, that whatever comes in and leaves is supposed to leave. We shouldn't try to hold on to it. We shouldn't try to control it. We shouldn't try to do these things. And when we're doing that, that's where we're standing in our power. We're standing in our truth. We're being who we are and we're allowing things to flow. When people and situations leave our life, we allow our emotions to be what they are and to feel them and to see, you know, what this experience was for, what this was supposed to help us with, what this was supposed to teach us, what we were supposed to feel, whatever it was in that moment. And we let it be what it is. And that naturally brings balance in. A lot of times we try to hold on to it. We try to control it. And it's a lot of times like a fear below the surface. There's a fear below the surface. And sometimes it's like, if I let go of that, there's a fear that I won't be able to get something better because I don't think I deserve it, or I don't think it's possible because it's never happened before. And it's like when you're a different person though, the energy is different. What comes in for you is different. With this sage purification, it feels like just kind of a deep cleansing of all of that pain and that past energy, and just like any like dark smudgy like energy you need to clear, just like anything that's heavy you need to clear. For some of you, saging will be really good. For some of you, open your fucking blinds and like open like the window. Well, it's hot as shit in Florida right now, so like maybe don't open the windows if you're like in, you know, the heat, but like open your blinds and let light in, because the sunlight actually purifies things. The sunlight actually kind of recharges and re-energizes, which a lot of times when we're needing that, that's why we want to go out in the sun, even if it's hot as balls, because like we're needing that energy, we're needing that recharge, we're needing kind of that intuition to open up, we're needing those things to kind of like brighten our light. When we're not doing that, we're sitting in the darkness and we're not allowing ourselves to come out of it. We're sitting in our pain and we're finding comfort in our pain instead of letting the light in and helping us to actually feel better. And sometimes it's because we think we deserve the pain at like a deeper level. We think we're bad people. We think we're pieces of shit. We think whatever the fuck we were told we were, and we believe it at a deeper level. And even if you tell yourself, oh, I don't believe that or feel that way, if you look at why you made the choices you made, sometimes you actually do think that. It's just so deeply ingrained in you because of what you were taught as a kid or a teen, and like what was said to you, that you really actually believe it. And it's a part of who you are that's trying to heal and die off. With the Desert Thirst and Lotus Resurrection. I'm going to show you these. I love this because it feels so conflicting but so beautiful at the same time. It's like the Desert Thirst, right? There's no fucking sunlight. It's dry as fuck. There's no water, like all this shit. And you got the Lotus Resurrection, which is this blossoming energy, this spring energy, this sunshine, this water. And they're so conflicting, but they're so like, they are like contrasting, but in like a good way. It's like you have different facets of yourself, and it's learning to love and accept them and stop trying to change them. Stop trying to change who you are. Just start being yourself. Like if you have feelings, share your feelings. Like there's nothing wrong with your goddamn feelings. Stop. I think one of the biggest messages I always give to people, they're always like, I need to work on this or I need to change this. No, what you need to do is accept it. Why are you feeling that way? You need to stop trying to change your behaviors and thinking there's something wrong with them, because that right there is invalidating and shameful to whatever you're feeling. What you should do is look at, why am I feeling this? It's okay for me to feel this way. Why am I feeling this? And give yourself some goddamn love and validation. And that's what's actually going to help that feeling that you are uncomfortable with, you think is a problem or you don't like, that's what's going to help it heal. By accepting it, by loving yourself regardless, and by feeling it. And that oftentimes, again, relates to something you were taught when you were growing up, that this was a problem behavior, this was a problem emotion, this was a problem feeling. That's where a lot of the conflict comes in. But we're integrating the energies so we can balance them and we can appreciate all different areas. We can appreciate the pain, we can appreciate the struggles, we can appreciate the emotions and see them for what they are. Stop resisting them and all that stuff. As you're doing that, you're growing, you're healing, you're blossoming. And if you know about the lotus and the significance, there's such a spiritual significance with the lotus flower, because it's like the lotus flower grows in conditions that it shouldn't, in this murky, dirty water, and comes out this beautiful, bright, vibrant flower. And that's oftentimes not the way we know that beautiful flowers grow, right? They oftentimes grow in the dirt with a seed. The lotus flower doesn't grow that way. It grows in murky, shitty, dirty looking water a lot of times, swampy pond water, whatever it is. And it grows into this beautiful flower, and something beautiful comes out of that dirt and that pain and that sludge and that storm. And it's you, literally, it's you. No matter what you're feeling that you've lost, or no matter what you're feeling that is your struggle, just know that you're being replenished and that you're coming into terms and acceptance with who you are and who you are meant to be and who you always have been, that you've hidden. We think a lot of times what we do is we say we want something and then we resist it because we're actually scared to embrace that. We feel almost like this pressure or overwhelming stuff. And I'm going to give you an example for me, and I hope this helps you like to understand what I'm talking about. So I want to say it was like 2 or 3 years ago, probably like, actually I've had the store for a little bit over 3 years, or almost 3 years, 3 years this month. So less than 3 years ago, I remember I was in the store and I was talking to somebody and I started getting a bunch of spiritual downloads, and they said something to me about being a spiritual teacher. And when they said that to me, it was the same energy of when somebody would compliment me. It felt heavy. It felt so much pressure. It felt so much resistance. And I remember that one time they said that, and another time I was talking to somebody and I got the downloads too, and they said something about me being an ascended master. And I was like, I just felt so much pressure. I felt almost like, fuck, I have to be perfect and I have to live up to this role and this expectation, and people are going to look up to me. And then it makes me feel so much pressure. It makes me feel like I have to like do everything right. Like if I do something wrong or I say the wrong thing, it's going to fuck with people. It just, all these thoughts, all these fears started flooding in, right? And I accepted what they said, but I was resisting it at the same time, because I was like, I hear what you're saying and logically I'm going to accept what you're saying, but I am resisting the fuck out of what you're saying, because that is so much fucking pressure that you guys are putting on me. Like, you don't even understand. And through the last few years, I've actually worked through that, and I've actually embraced it, and I appreciate it so much because it helped me to be who I am. And a lot of times I've had people, especially people who are close to me, who are like, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. You give, shitty advice. You think you fucking know everything. What's the other one? Oh, your gifts aren't real, like blah, blah. Well, if they're real, then tell me this and tell me this. And I went through this doubt. I went through this fear of what people are going to think of me. I went through this like conflict of, should I say something or should I not? Are people going to think I'm this way and whatever? I met a lot of people who didn't give me spirit messages. They gave me human ego conditioning fear messages. And then I'm like, am I being annoying like them? Am I irritating like them? Am I like this? And I went through pretty much kind of all these different, I keep wanting to say the word facets, all these different facets, and seeing all these different perspectives on it to come to the truth and to accept that I actually love being this way. I actually love helping people. I love speaking my truth. When people question my shit, okay, that's okay. If you feel resistance from it, that's okay. I'm not going to prove shit to you. I'm going to speak my fucking truth. I'm not going to disregard what Spirit's saying to me. I'm not going to question my truth because you don't believe it. I'm not going to do any of those things because I trust what Spirit's saying to me. It helped me build a foundation, it helped me build trust, it helped me build all of these things to accept, embrace who I am. And a lot of times when I'm helping people and they have gifts, they're so scared to trust it, or they're so scared to be confident in it Because we've been taught that confidence is narcissism. We've been taught that confidence is arrogance. We've been taught that confidence in being who we are is a bad thing. And it's fucking not. Why should I ever if Spirit gives me a truth, why should I ever let anybody tell me something that's different and try to convince me of what Spirit says to me because they're scared to actually accept what's true? And I used to allow people to get me to not say how I feel or not say what Spirit says because I was so scared of their judgment, their jealousy, their reaction, how I was going to handle it. And I didn't feel strong to deal with the backlash. I didn't feel like whatever, all these different things. And because of all the shit that I've worked through naturally, everything that's naturally come in that I've worked through has helped me get to the place where I am. Where if I get something from Spirit and you say the opposite, I go, that's okay. Because there's nothing in it for me. There's no ego connection. There's no emotional bullshit. There's nothing. There's truth and whatever the fuck your ego fear shit is. And it sounds almost like, oh yeah, I do think I know everything. That's not true at all. I know what Spirit tells me and I trust what Spirit tells me, and that's just what it is. And that's okay. Whatever your judgment is a reflection of your own fucking judgment. And I've learned all of these things. And what I have also noticed is because I'm able to stand in that power when people come at me with stuff, it helps them to kind of see their own shadow. It helps, I just got a message for myself. It helps them to reflect their own shadow. And when I stand stable and I stand solid in that, they're able to actually transmute it and work through it to actually see the truth of what they're scared to see. And I meet a lot of people too, that when I say something to them, they're like, that's not true. I'm like, I can literally feel your energy, so you cannot lie to me. You can lie to yourself all you fucking want, but you can't lie to me. And almost every single time they laugh because they know I'm fucking right, because it's shit that they try to lie to themselves about that they're scared about. And most of the time people like that because they're like, oh shit, like I can't hide that stuff. And it's a respect thing, which if you can tell me something I don't know about myself, the amount of respect I have for you is like insane. Because I love when people do that. I'm like, I don't know. I love when people call me out on shit. If you see something about me that I don't see about myself, I have so much respect for you. I'm just like, holy shit. Like I love that. You know why? Because the energy of truth and power is so strong. Like when you can sit there and not go into fear mode and you stand stable in that, you're actually helping somebody. Even when it's hard for them to accept with themselves, when you're standing stable and you're not stable and you're not putting your emotion into it, you're actually helping them to see the truth of what it is without all the ego fucking conditioning bullshit, which helps people heal that stuff. So whatever it is for yourself that you're scared to do, where you're scared to shine your light, you're scared to be yourself, you're scared to do what you want to and stand in your power, like that's what all this is doing. Everything that you're feeling that's pain is helping you to release all of that shit from the past. It is helping you to get rid of everything that literally fucking made you not be who you are. That fragmented energy card with all those puzzle pieces in that storm, it's taking all those pieces of yourself you lost and putting them back together. And as you're doing it, think about it like this. You're made up of thousands of fucking molecules. You're made up of thousands of fucking pieces of a puzzle, right? You've lost 500 of them because somebody told you this was wrong. And so you're like, I'm not going to be like that. Somebody told you this was bad about you. I'm not going to be like that, right? Every time you're taking one of those pieces and you're putting that puzzle in, it's activating all that energy that relates to why you got rid of it in the first place. People telling you it's bad, all the energetic connection to that specific piece. So every time you're picking yourself up and you're putting that piece of puzzle back in, you're triggering everything that made you take away that piece of you in the first place. That's all the energy you're feeling. That's the pain, that's the sadness and all that stuff. Eventually, you're going to go back to exactly who the fuck you've always been supposed to be and a stronger version of yourself because of it. That's what it is. You're growing and you're healing and you're helping yourself get to that place. And then what is happening is it's helping you balance your soul truth and the human ego and getting out of conditioning and being able to grow as a person and a soul to get you on the path that you're supposed to be on to help other people and to bring you to your purpose. And if you ever notice when it brings you to your purpose, it feels just like so much fulfillment. It just feels like you're at home. Like you're at home. Like when I'm giving spirit messages to people and I'm connected and I'm helping people, I always say that is more rewarding and fulfilling to me than fucking $1 million. Like I would do that any day over fucking money. And I've always felt like that. I've always felt this passion to help people. I've always wanted to be a therapist. I've always wanted to do those things. And I've always wanted to help people overcome the struggles that they've went through, because I know how it also feels. Like I've been through so much shit my whole life, and I know how it feels to be at rock bottom, and I know how it feels to feel like shit. And I want to help people to see that you don't have to live like that. You can let go of that. And I want you to see the beauty in you that like you've been taught is not beautiful, the uniqueness in you that you've been taught to repress. And that's why I think for me too, is I love people who do like artist things, who do things from their heart, who do things from their intuition, because the energy of that is so beautiful. It's so empowering. It's just this love energy. And I know we always talk about love and we relate it to other people, but we are love. Like our energy is love. It's truth. It's this beautiful thing. And I love how it just started getting bright at the same time. And it's this beautiful feeling. And I realized this the other day, I'm going to leave off with this. I realized this the other day when I was looking at animals, and I was like, why are we so obsessed with animals? Like my Sage, the crazy bitch. Like I love that cat. Like every time she meows or does something cute, I'm like, oh my God, just come here. Let me kiss the shit out of you. And what I realized is animals are just love. They're actually just love. They're natural. Everything they do is instinctual and intuitive. Their soul is just this natural energy that emanates out love. And we like it so much because we are magnetized toward that energy, because that's who we're trying to be, because that's who we actually are at our core. That's why we are attracted to the animals that we love so much, and also usually the symbolism of them. So however you see that animal is that, you know, a lot of times there's people who are afraid of snakes. There's people who are not afraid of snakes. But snakes oftentimes represent, you know, shedding the skin and regeneration and us leaving the old behind and growing something new. And oftentimes a lot of us are actually afraid of that. So when you think about certain things like that and the symbolism of the animal, that's what it is. But then there's also like this majesticness to them too, when you actually see how good change actually is, and leaving the past in the past to become a better version of yourself. You start appreciating those things. So anyway, I hope that this helped you guys, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day.